All right, you crazy Carpathians, we're going to give this a try. You probably clicked on a link, something that looks like down here. All right, if you looked at that, then you got this. We're going to keep coming back to this and talking about it. Um, Starting off with page 302 in your book, which is right here. We're going to run this kind of like a lecture basically, but it's a video. The difference is you get to pause it, you get to swear at me, do whatever you want because I can't hear you. All right. But basically, you get this as much as you want. Anyway, back to you all. So, right up here, page 302, different energy sources are available to different peeps. So, like, look, here in the United States, we got oil, we got solar, we got wind, we got dams, we like micro hydro stuff, we have nuclear power energy. Yeah. All right. We got different forms of energy. So, we're a lot of eggs in like multiple baskets. So, if one goes down, the other ones kind of make up for it. A lot of diversity, strength and diversity. Other countries have different energy needs and I'm sorry, different energy supplies. The one thing you can always count on is people to do what's best for themselves. Usually, in this case, cheapest. So look at Iceland. Iceland uses geothermal for energy. There's like no carbon emissions. It's super great for the environment. Why do they really do it? It's cheap. They've got volcanoes all around them, man. It's like volcanic activity. They have free energy. Um, Now let's start looking at a place like Germany, like during World War II, or England, same kind of deal, because they had tons of coal. Guess what? They burned for energy coal. Um, Even now, China's got something like two electric power plants per week go up that are coal, per week. And here in the United States, we're trying to get rid of coal. It was big in the Obama administration, and Trump kind of got some voters back by like decreasing the limit. But basically, coal is a dying breed in the United States because natural gas is a heck of a lot cheaper energy. So that's what we use, only as faithful as our options. Look, every type of energy has pros and cons. Some of them are like, bad for greenhouse gases, which increase the world's temperature. Some of them we have on very low supply. Some of them are expensive to set up. Some of them, like nuclear power, if stuff goes bad, it goes really, really bad. It's dangerous. So different energies all have pros and cons. Different societies choose different energies for different reasons. Basically, what's most available to them for the cheapest price, what their cultural beliefs are too. Um, One thing is we constantly need more energy. Look, depending on where your parents grew up, but if they grew up in the United States, like in New England, our houses growing up, we had one electrical outlet, like one plug per room. That's all you needed. Like, why did you need more electricity? You only need one plug for like a light, and then maybe the odd other thing you had, like a fan or something. So yeah, bedrooms and stuff, they only had one outlet. That's all you needed. Okay. We didn't have tons of electrical supply, like devices. Um, Now, when you go to bed tonight, check up how many electrical outlets you have in your bedroom. I bet you it's a fair amount. Moving on down, we can't. So yeah, we're constantly need more energy. Nobody in this room is looking to be using less of it, really going forward. Maybe more efficiently, but we're not looking to do less. We're looking to maybe do smarter, more efficiently, but not do less. You know, um, Energy security. So this one right here. Use of resources to make electricity and maintain national security. Why? Because if you are a politician and you cut off the power supply to your people or you ration them with power, like I'd say energy, power, electricity, they're kind of the same, you know, for mostly. Um, for our discussion, if you're looking to cut people off, they riot. They come up and then they kind of like revolt against you. And if you're the leader who's like, yeah, we're cutting off your power, they kind of want your head. All right. Germany versus Russia, World War II. Um, so look, um, Germany ran into a problem where they were going up against war against Russia in World War II. Sound kind of familiar with Ukraine and Russia right now? All right. As a result, like Germany was really going towards the north, trying to capture the capital, but then the Russians basically stopped them, and Germany basically was like, you know what, we're going to go south towards the oil fields because we need the oil in the worst way. Otherwise, our tanks don't really run. Tanks are really great war weapons as long as they can move. No oil, they don't move, and then they're standing targets. Um, Currently, with Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine owed Russia money for natural gas. So here's the deal: with Russia, Russia is super oil, natural gas rich. So what do? They send it through Ukraine all the way to Europe, like to Germany. Germany's manufacturing, their whole economy is basically based off of getting that cheap Russian natural gas. All right. And the war in Ukraine, because Ukraine owed Russia for natural gas, they weren't really paying their bills. So another reason why Russia was kind of like, yeah, we kind of have to invade, get our money's worth. And when that happened, as a world, we basically like, bad Russia. But you know, like also Germany really was like, do I do what's right or do I keep getting free energy and electricity? I really kind of like that free energy and electricity. So they didn't come out with rations. They're like, okay, we'll come up with little rations, like against, Russia. And then it was like they got on board and did the whole thing. But literally, they're very scared that Russia's going to cut them off from natural gas. So, yep, that's what's going on right now. Fuel is gas and diesel. They are two different things. By the way, in your car, do not fill your gasoline car up with diesel fuel. And if you're driving a diesel truck or car, they're rare now. Don't fill it up with gasoline. So, yeah, that's when we talk about fuel. Smart countries diversify energy sources. Why? Because you can't count on one thing. Like if you are like Germany and you're like, yeah, we don't want to do nuclear power because it could blow up on us, which is valid. But then they went so far, they're like, we need so much of that cheap Russian natural gas, and they're going to keep selling it to us. And then that happens, except for when Russia doesn't sell it anymore. And then it's like, oh crap, we got no energy because we shut down the nukes. So yeah, you can't have just one thing. You get even for alternative energy. What are you going to do on a like it's a rainy day. You're not going out to play. You're going to stay inside and like play video games. And the problem is you don't have any solar power because there's the clouds. There's no solar energy, so you can't have just one source of power or energy. Um, Prices fluctuate, peeps riot. So people don't like paying like prices to go up and down. They like just one steady price. As soon as that price goes up, they're going to riot. Um, Energy rich versus poor rich countries. In different countries, power is different amounts. In a lot of countries, you can't really afford to have an air conditioner because that takes a lot of energy. And so you just sweat the whole summer. Here in the United States, we don't really do that. We're more energy rich, so we kind of run our air conditioners. And yeah, energy choices factor availability, new tech, politics, economics, culture, sustainability, environment. So things that go into what you choose for energy are like availability. Guess what? We got oil like in Alaska. We've got oil in the Gulf of Mexico. And yeah, so as a result, so we're kind of like somewhat oil rich. We're not as like thirsty for putting into new technology. And even the new technology we put in, it's usually just to find more oil because that's what's cheapest in the United States. Um, Politics, guess what? Those people that have all those oil jobs or coal jobs or they tend to vote more like Republican because the Republicans tend to hold on to their interest in their jobs and their money, and they keep promoting that. Not saying yay, not saying nay, just saying what kind of is. Economics, what sells? Canada is looking to sell us shale oil because they can make money doing it. So, yeah, why not? Culture depends on what you have a culture of accepting and not accepting. Like here in the United States, we can make more nuclear power plants. We don't have a culture of really trusting them, though. And that might be for good reason. We've seen them blow up, at Chernobyl. Sustainability. Yeah, how long can you keep it going? Look, the prices of oil, because the supply's gone down, the prices have gone up, more expensive, not as sustainable. Environment, how you choose to vote with your dollar and just what you support. Do you support solar energy? Are you going to like put down the money to put solar panels on your house? Or are you going to pay for renewable energy? So, problem, millions of years to make versus burn in an instant. Look, oil, coal, natural gas, gasoline, diesel, fuel, you whatever, okay? They all take thousands of years, millions of years to make. And then we're driving down the road and we use them in an instant like that. So, um, so obviously use it quick, take millions of years to make. Eventually you're just going to run out of supply because it takes millions of years to make and you just can't make it faster than you're using it. So keep that in mind with our oil and gas supplies. Tight oil that's locked up in rocks, not cheap to extract. Remember I was talking to you about that shale oil up in Canada? That's what we're talking about. New technology result: U.S. doesn't really import. We don't import oil, our energy. We got our own oil, like oil and gasoline reserves and everything. All right. We don't really import oil. The only oil we actually import, and this is from my stepfather who runs a gas station, is on the East Coast because it's actually cheaper for us to import oil than it is to actually bring it down from Alaska travel wise. So it's again, you only do what's really cost effective. So um, down here, the shale gale, barrels per day, United States, crude oil production, tight oil. So this is like just raw. The green is like the raw. I don't want to say easy because it's not easy, but like you drill a hole in the ground, and then you basically with a straw, and you're just like you suck up the oil, and that's oil drilling. All right. So back in like 1990s, oh yeah, man, that's all we're doing. Even like in 2000s, yeah, that's pretty much all we're doing. And then in 2000s, like, wait a minute, we can break rock, and like when we break the rock, oil kind of just drips out of it. And then we were like, oh yeah, that stuff we could probably try that a little bit. And then boom, 2012 happens, and we're like, we're liking this because guess what? Our crude oil production is down. So now we just start breaking rock and blasting, and we just, roughly, if I'm looking there, half of our oil comes from that. Um, in the forecast future. So 2024, that ain't, very far at all. And half of our production is going to come that way. U.S. shale oil in the future. What's this mean for OPEC? By the way, you should be taking notes on all this. I'll probably put that in this thing, but like before you start this video. So you should ask yourself, U.S. shale oil in the future, are we going to be getting more of our oil from shale or from, crude oil? What's this mean for OPEC? OPEC countries, you might have to look that up, but it's basically the Middle Eastern countries and your big oil producers. What this means for OPEC is it actually kind of controls the price a little bit on OPEC, but you're probably gonna have to put that down there for notes. All right, peeps, this is the first video, and yep, and hopefully you're taking notes.